Welcome to the weekly Forex forecast, traders. Starting off with the DXY forecast, you can clearly see we still have that daily downtrend. When we really zoom in on this downward trend line, you can see it was tested multiple times, but it is being respected. And if you look on the weekly chart, we are close to pushing inside, breaking this overall support area box that I have on my chart. Last week I was talking about how I was expecting price to push back into it. Do I think we're just going to break down and break the support right away? No, it's probably going to take a couple weeks, but ultimately I do think we will be breaking the 99.5 area on the weekly chart, which would actually give us an even better downtrend. You can see on the weekly chart, my downward arrow indicates we do have a weekly downtrend. And why am I expecting the DXY to continue to go down a long term? Well, this is the reason why. This is a 12-month chart of the DXY. I know it's a very high time frame, but you can see we had a beautiful rally, base, drop, area of supply that removed an all-time low on the DXY, and we pushed into it. We actually broke the downward trend line, and that's okay because we pushed into it, the last couple years into this 12-month area of supply. So basically what we are seeing the highest time frame that could be possible, supply in control, and that is why we're expecting long term over the next 5 years to see the DXY tumble downwards. Now, where I think we are headed, if you look on a monthly chart, you can clearly see we were hesitating between supply and demand for a while. We were basically sitting in the middle. We have supply up here at 110 and demand down below at 98.34. And now, since we created that weekly downtrend and the daily downtrend, in my opinion, the last couple months have been red because, again, the 12-month supply became in control up here. We then pushed down. Yes, we did hesitate in the middle at some point, but it is clear to me that we are headed down to the 98.34 area to this rally-based rally monthly demand zone on the dollar, where I then think we will probably rally up. Do I think we will rally up to this monthly supply up here? Maybe, maybe not. That'll be for a different discussion, maybe a year from now or something. So make sure to subscribe. But ultimately, I think that is where we are headed. I think we will continue to see dollar weakness until we can hit that monthly demand down at the 98.34 area on the DXY. All right, on to the forecast for the Euro US dollar. You can clearly see this past week we did break the high up here, which has given us the opportunity to change this trend line. So I'm going to draw it now for you guys. Boom, just like that. So that is the new updated daily upward trend line. So things are looking really good for longs here in the euro. However, we clearly are hesitating around this area. Why? Well, because there is supply above. We've seen a reaction off of it almost once already for the second time, but since the trend is looking strong, guys, I am expecting the euro to continue to go up. On the 4-hour chart, the supply is above as well that we're clearly reacting off of. But honestly, guys, what I will say right now, as long as this trend line is holding on the euro on the 4-hour chart, you could be looking for longs on a 15-minute time frame. I think that that's okay. Even if we do get a pullback all the way down to this drop-based rally demand zone at 1.1028, I think it's a good area to potentially look for longs, especially if you want to look for extra confirmation on the day trading time frames. Now, on the 1-hour chart, price action's a little bit more clear. Again, we have this supply from so long ago. It's I'm not even going to go back there, but clearly we have some supply and control. Yes, we are going sideways at this time. So if you are looking for zones on a 1-hour chart, I'm just not seeing anything at this point. But what I would like to see is a push up, which I do think we will get because the daily trend is up. Remember that. The higher time frames are up. We are expecting price to go up, but the safest thing to do for longs, at least on the 1-hour chart, if this proven area of supply gets removed, and what I mean by proven is the fact that we've seen not only one, but 2 reactions off of it. I'm pretty sure even more from all the way back here. Yes. So once this proven area of supply gets removed like this, boom, something like that, any 1-hour demand zone there, that would be a good zone to look for longs off of because the demand that removes this supply is going to be very strong because it's proven supply. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on the Euro US dollar on the 1-hour chart, basically waiting for a new 1-hour zone to be formed by removing supply. But in the meantime, since we do have a 4-hour trend to the upside, 15-minute time frame longs are going to be fine here on the Euro US dollar. All right, on to the forecast for gold. And if you guys are liking this video, I release these forecasts every single week, guys, so a like would be much appreciated. You don't have to join the group. I'm just asking you guys to like the video and subscribe if you're new, and share it maybe if you think it would help a fellow trader. So anyways, on to gold on the 4-hour chart. beautiful trends to the upside. Yes, we have started to sell off a little bit here on gold, but I mean, look at the trend we've had to the upside. Even before, when we sold off, it was immediately picked back up. And what I think we will see most likely here on gold is a pullback down to the 2638 area, down to this 4-hour demand zone, and I think we will actually react off of it. It's a pretty neat, decent rally, base rally demand zone that basically broke an all-time high, and it's a great area to look for longs at. And as always, guys, if you don't feel comfortable with just setting a trade here with a stop loss below and a take profit above, that's okay. You can also look for extra confirmation on a lower time frame. So what that means is once this zone is contacted, once 2638 is hit, you could then go to a 15-minute chart or even a 5-minute time frame chart as well, and then you could look for demand zones on lower time frames to be formed and look for longs on those time frames, and basically confirm your entry and even increase the risk to reward. Because if you look at this zone like this, let's just say from the high like this, it's a decent little almost 3-to-1 trade, and that's perfect. But if you really hone in your entry, something like that, that 3-to-1 to the next high becomes a 10-to-1. I'm not saying you're gonna get a 10-to-1, but it definitely just increases your risk to reward. So it's definitely something you can do. But ultimately, I think it's a great little demand zone that we could look for longs off of. And at any point, as long as this trend line's holding, guys, you could be looking for longs all the way on a 15-minute time frame. The 1-hour chart, we are pulling back, but if we do break this 4-hour trend line, let's say we get something like this where we break the demand, I'm wrong, which I'm wrong a lot. Just because I'm wrong a lot doesn't mean I'm not a profitable trader. I actually lose more than I win, guys. Believe it or not, all the trading gurus on there say, oh, you got to win more than you lose. It's actually not true. But anyways, enough with the rant. As if we do break this upward trend line, that's okay, because what I see happening is a pullback down to this daily demand zone. I'm going to just adjust it a bit at 2587. So even if we do get a deep pullback, something like that, that's okay. We have what I like to call higher time frame backstop zones. So the trends are up. We should be looking for longs on all time frames right now. But if we do get a deep pullback like this, that's okay. We have a nice rally base rally daily demand zone where we could get a even better entry to the upside, and I'm really eager to get a position going at this daily demand zone. I will basically be waiting for this daily zone to be hit and looking for a 1-hour confirmation with a trend line break or something, and be looking for longs here on gold. So it's longs all the way, even if we do get a deep pullback below the 2600 area. And yeah, it's longs all the way. The nearest entry is that 4-hour demand zone, but don't be scared if we do get a deep pullback, because that daily demand zone will kind of act as a backstop. And there's even daily zones lower as well that we could be looking for longs at as well, but that'll be for another discussion here on gold. On to the forecast for the USDJPY. So the past couple weeks, or a little bit, we did have a beautiful 1-hour trend to the upside, and I'm not gonna lie, I was telling the members, look guys, we could be looking for longs only really on the day trading time frames as long as this trend line is holding. And look, we ended up breaking that. And it wasn't just random, right? And even I was warning members as well. Yes, we have a trend on the upside in the 1-hour chart, but just a reminder, look at the trend on the higher time frames. That's why I always stress, go to the higher time frames. Look at what you're doing, but in a bigger perspective. So yes, the momentum was certainly up here, but to see a down move like that, it's not a surprise. Look at, we've seen it multiple times because the daily trend and momentum was down. That is why we have to be careful when looking for counter trend setups like the one I was talking about. But now that we have broken this 1-hour trend line, it's great. It's a beautiful move off of this daily downtrend pretty much. So all I'm really seeing now for trading on the USDJPY is if we do get a pullback all the way up to 145.78, that could be an area we see a move off of, since it's a beautiful rally base drop supply. The issue with it is it's a very obvious supply zone. So it could be one of those times where we push up, fake everyone out, kind of stop everyone out that's trading the high, and then rally. So be mindful of that. It might be best to even place your entry up here where they stop a little bit higher, due to the fact that we could see that manipulation. But at the end of the day, guys, it's shorts all the way because of the daily trend to the downside. We just have to be a little bit careful because you don't really have a 4-hour downtrend or a 1-hour downtrend at this point. Yes, we do have a daily downtrend, And that's great and all, but we have to be a little bit cautious because there's no 1 hour trend or no 4 hour trend. So the only real setup I'm seeing is a pullback up to some supply zones, guys. But at the end of the day, it's shorts all the way. Even if you want to trade a 15-minute or 5-minute time frame to the downside, it's got to be to the downside. I'm just not seeing any reason to get in long. Like I was saying earlier, since we had a 1 hour trend to the upside, longs were okay for here, but we've broken the upward trend on the 1 hour chart. So at this point, we have to pretty much wait for shorts. Another thing you could do, even if we don't get a pullback up to this 1 hour supply, that's fine. Hopefully we can at least get a decent pullback so that we could have a trend line here, which would give us an H1 downtrend. And then at that point, okay, the 5-minute time frame shorts become higher odds because we would not only be trading with a daily downtrend, but also a 1 hour downtrend on the USDJPY. On to the forecast for the GBPUSD, starting with the daily chart. Beautiful daily uptrend, picture perfect upward trend line. Even if we do go down and test the upper trend on the upper trend line on the daily chart, that's okay. It's the trends are up. We definitely want to be favoring longs. And even if we get that deep pullback on pound, up to or down to 1.286, I don't care. It's a beautiful weekly zone down here. I'm really hoping we can get a pullback down to there. I don't see any evidence of that taking place just yet, but I welcome that pullback. Now on the 1 hour chart, we caught this beautiful drop base rally 1 hour demand zone. 2-to-1 was hit on the pound on the 1 hour chart, and that is from the daily market breakdown videos. If you want to trade alongside myself and the community, join the Diamond membership for exclusive access to our daily market breakdown videos and catch trades like these. Plus, dive deep with our full-length forecast covering 26 plus markets, our interactive Sunday Zoom sessions, and personal homework to sharpen your strategy. And you'll also join our private Discord group for direct access to me and unlock a complete library of A to Z video lessons to master supply and demand trading. Don't miss out. Let's level up your trading. Links are in the description down below. So now we've come back in for a second test of this 1 hour demand zone. I don't really feel comfortable looking for longs here again, but what I will say, we do have a 1 hour trend here, trend line. So as long as this trend line is being respected, I don't really mind looking for longs on a 5-minute time frame. We could easily push out of this again. If there's a nice little 5-minute zone here, that's fine. We could definitely be looking for longs on the 5-minute time frame as long as that trend line is holding. Even on the 4 hour chart, we have kind of an aggressive 4 hour trend line, and that's okay. And we are currently reacting off of 4 hour supply up here. And even if we do get a not a deep pullback, but a pullback down to 1.329, I think it's a great little demand zone we could look for longs off of. It's a weird looking demand zone, but it is demand. I like the fact that there is a clear support area down here. The support and resistance traders will be trading that right into our demand zone down below with where all their stop losses will be. So I'm pretty confident in that 4 hour demand zone down below, especially since it is with the higher time frame trends. Let's say we don't get a pullback down to there. Let's say it doesn't happen and we push up, break this 4 hour supply zone. That would be good as well. And any demand zone here on the 4 hour chart could be used as a pullback entry, and I will have that zone on the charts for the members, and we will be talking about it as well. So to recap, as long as these trend lines are holding on the 4 hour chart and the 1 hour chart, day trading longs are fine on a 15-minute time frame and also on a 5-minute time frame as well. A deep pullback to this 4 hour demand zone down to 1.329 is also going to be good, and any zone that breaks this zone will be good for longs as well. On to the forecast for the USDCAD. This is the country that I am from. I've always been asking you guys every week, what country are you guys from? Even if you've commented before, let me know again, and maybe other people are from the same country and you guys can connect. But as far as the daily chart goes here on the USDCAD, clear trend to the downside. We just created daily supply at 1.353. It broke demand and it broke a low. So it's a good daily zone. We could definitely see a move to the downside off of that daily area of supply. In the meantime, what could we be doing? It's aggressive because it is counter trend, but we do have a pretty nice 1 hour trend to the upside. So 5-minute time frame longs are going to be fine. It's a little bit aggressive, like I said, because the daily supply is located just above, but it would be with that overall trend on the 1 hour chart. If you really think the US dollar is going to go up, which I really don't, if you think that's going to take place, this would be our only entry for longs on the 1 hour chart at 1.348. Now again, I know a lot of people have given me a hard time before for saying, oh, you think it's just going to go long or short. I don't. I'm just saying if you are bullish, which I'm really not that bullish, this would be the best area to look for longs at this rally-based rally demand zone. I'm just pointing that out. It's with the trend line as well, and 5-minute time frame longs are good. In the meantime, we are in a 4-hour supply zone. It's pretty tested. I'm not a huge fan of how deep it's been tested. We could easily see this supply zone be respected to the downside. And even if we break it, right? Let's say we break this 4-hour supply zone, that's okay because the daily supply, like I said, is located a little bit above at the 1.353 area. And there's even a 4-hour supply zone above that we could talk about another time. But look, it's shorts all the way in my opinion. Why? Because the daily trend is down on the USDCAD as well as the DXY. So I really believe in shorts. I did point out the potential long trades, and it's again, that's just an aggressive entry. It is very, very counter trend. It could work out. I just feel the need to point out both sides because some people are going to be watching this video saying, oh, I'm bullish at USDCAD and I don't care what he says for shorts, and that's fine. Well, if you are bullish, that would be my entry for long, and that would be basically the only thing I would be doing on the USDCAD for longs. And again, for shorts, we are into 4-hour supply right now, so we could see a move from here to the downside. If not, we could just push up just a little bit higher, push up to the daily supply, and then rally to the downside. But overall, I am bearish the USDCAD. It doesn't mean we won't see a little bit more move to the upside though. On to the forecast for the AUDUSD. Just a reminder, on this one as well, we have a beautiful daily trend to the upside. Those of my followers who've been following me for a while, they know we caught this daily zone down here. Just a beautiful swing trade with 0 drawdown. Beautiful move to the upside. Daily trend is looking strong. What does that mean? Well, it's longs all the way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We actually have a weekly trend now since this past week, so it's looking really good. It is longs, no matter what you say. I don't care what anybody says. Starting with the 4-hour chart, we have a beautiful 4-hour upward trend line, peaks, valleys, higher highs being formed. Trend line looking really, really good. So one option here, as long as this trend line is being respected, 15-minute time frame day trading longs are going to be fine. Even if we do pull back down the trend line and we start to rally up here, if there's a 15-minute demand zone here, longs all the way. Let's say we push down, we break this upper trend line, that's okay. We have a nice drop base rally demand zone down below, located at 0.676. It's a great area to look for a potential swing trade to the upside. It's a beautiful pullback entry with the overall daily trend. And the beauty of using higher time frame analysis, guys, and understanding it actually, is if we do break that trend line, this would be looking really bearish on like a 15-minute, 5-minute, maybe even a 1-hour chart. It'll be looking bearish, and the bears will be looking for shorts right into our demand zone where we will be looking for longs. So it is longs all the way. I'm not seeing any new 4-hour zones, but what you could be doing, again, hopefully you guys understand the two options on the 4-hour chart. If you guys don't understand or you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to leave a comment. I respond to every single comment. And another option here, I like to enter on the 1-hour chart. That's just me. So that would have been a beautiful setup here. Now we have a proven area of 1-hour supply at 0.692. It's a great supply zone from very, very long ago. I'm not even going to go back. I'd be scrolling for miles. But we have a beautiful trend to the upside at this point. I would call that a 1-hour trend line as well. So if you are bullish, as long as this 1-hour trend line's holding, 5-minute time frame longs are completely fine. And what I would like to see is a push up. We break this 1-hour supply zone that has been proven supply. Boom, something like that. Any 1-hour zone there will be on the chart for myself and for members that we could be using for longs. And that would be our setup, a beautiful 1-hour zone with the overall daily trend. So that is what I prefer, basically to get a 1-hour entry, the proven supply to be removed, demand zone, boom, beautiful area for a pullback entry, longs all the way as long as the trend lines are holding. And don't be scared. If we do get a deep pullback, that's okay. We have a 4-hour demand zone backstop at 0.676. That would be a beautiful swing trading opportunity, and it can even be a time where you turn a day trade into a potential massive swing trade here on the Aussie US dollar. On to the forecast for the USDCHF. You can clearly see here the overall momentum is down, but when we look here, it is clearly going sideways. I do not like this price action here, so the USDCHF Certainly not one of my favorite charts to be looking at. Even on the 4-hour chart, that sideways action is even more obvious and clear here. It's just what I like to call sideways soup. It is not good at all. We are into a 1-hour demand zone now from a very long time ago as well. It was basically pierced through a couple times, but just really tricky price action. What I will say, since the trend is down and since we are bearish on the DXY, I would prefer to look for shorts. Again, I think many of the other pairs like the pound, the Aussie, which we just talked about, gold, even the euro, they're all looking so much better. So the USD Swiss isn't really one I would be personally trading, but if you really feel the need, you have to get an entry on the USD Swiss. I understand. We do have a beautiful base drop 1-hour supply zone up here at 0.843, and I like the fact that we almost contacted it, basically creating a resistance area. So the support resistance areas, or sorry, the resistance traders will be shorting at this resistance with their stop losses up here into our supply zone. And if you are shorting, your stop losses are buys, which means we will be selling them their shares up at the 1-hour supply and maybe get a move off of it. So I think it's a beautiful 1-hour supply zone to look for shorts. The only issue is the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart are kind of going sideways, so it's not fantastic, but it is a good little 1-hour supply zone we could see a move off of. And let's say we don't push up to it, or even if we do break this 1-hour demand zone here, that would be good as well. If we break it, any 1-hour supply zone there, we could also look for shorts off of like that, and the 1-hour trend will be even good as well. I would actually say we do have a 1-hour downtrend at this time as well. Not the best 1-hour downtrend I've ever seen, but it is one. So you could also be looking for 5-minute time frame shorts as well. I think that would be fine. But again, guys, the USD Swiss, definitely not a top tier pair to be trading right now. I'd much prefer the other pairs over the USDCHF. Last but not least, we are on to crude oil. And if you guys want to check out my trading psychology podcast, check it out wherever you guys listen to your podcast. And if you want to be featured on the podcast to talk about trading, some struggles you're having with trading psychology, please comment down below and we will try to set something up. So as far as the daily chart goes on oil, you guys know, go back, watch my forecast on YouTube. I've been calling out this daily supply for so long. Beautiful move to the downside off of it. Yes, the last day, pretty bullish, but ultimately the trends are down. So we are expecting the price of oil to continue to go down. We are seeing a beautiful move off this 4-hour demand zone right here. Beautiful support area trap. Beautiful move to the upside so far. What that means is the 4-hour demand zone's in control. It is counter trend, but you could be looking for 15-minute time frame longs as we push off of this 4-hour demand zone. And profit margin is really clear. Profit margin would be to this 1-hour supply zone at $70.57. It's a beautiful base drop area of supply. So if you are long on day trading timeframes as we come off the 4-hour demand zone from down here, that's good. Longs profits should be taken at this 1-hour supply zone at 70.57, where then we could look for shorts. And why do I want to look for shorts here? Because it is with the overall daily trend. So to repeat, we do have a 4-hour demand zone that's in control right now. It is counter trend, so it is more risky, but longs are fine on a 5-minute and a 15-minute time frame up to $70.57. Your profit margin is displayed right here. And then from there, base drop supply zone could be great for a potential short because it is with the trend, and we can basically target the low as well. So beautiful base drop supply zone there on oil that I'll be waiting for to trade with the daily trend. And if we break that 1-hour supply, we'll probably end up breaking the daily downward trend, and then we have to basically switch to a long bias, and it's fine, right? As long we have to go with what the trend has. It doesn't mean we won't take a couple losses as the trend changes, guys. That's just part of trading, and that's why I talk about those things in the Trading Psychology podcast that you guys should definitely check out. And if you guys want to watch the full-length forecast with all the other markets, make sure to subscribe to the channel membership to get access.